Good evening. Welcome to the Union County Polling. My name is and for the first order of business to do on every new year, transferring member David Kennedy.
Okay.
So, motion on the floor is to name David Kennedy as the new chair of the TTAB 2024.
I'll second that motion.
And vote for the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Moat passes. Congratulations, Chair.
All right. Thanks, Jim. We have feedback going on here. Is that okay? We good? Okay. All right. Well, welcome. And we have 5 agenda items today. We're a quorum. 2 out of the 3 of us are here. Al Leach from Al's Towing is not able to make the meeting tonight, but again, we have a quorum of 2, which allows us to conduct business. Okay, that's better. Good. We also have, it looks like 3 individuals joining us remotely. Tim, Matt, and Tony. And then you 2 folks from the public, welcome. And we should have a public comment period actually. Will that come at the end of the meeting? All right. So if there's other issues that you all want to raise, that'll come up at the end of the meeting. The first order of business was election of a new chair. That's completed. We now move on to item number 2, permit system consideration discussion. And we'll start off, Caitlin, do you want to introduce this item or should I? Okay.
Whether
Okay. Just to maybe kind of get a summary of how I understand the issue, is that would be helpful. My understanding, again, this is driven by state law and the code then that the county, Arlington County is required to implement. And so at issue is a towing company that is based in Arlington, home address in Arlington County, does not require a permit to tow within Arlington County. And that's unique in some ways to Arlington County and a number of other jurisdictions in Northern Virginia. And I think the concern is, why is that even the case? Why? Because they are based in Arlington County and they tow to a facility in Arlington County, why does that exempt them from permitting considerations? So what we want to do as a advisory board is to discuss whether that particular requirement makes sense.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Jim, you have any thoughts on that?
I do. I'm actually in favor of the permitting system. I think it will allow the county and the towers and the consumers a level of protection for the consumer. So, I mean, basically, the county is allowed to permit all sorts of other things, right? From bars to live entertainment permits to all this other stuff. But we can't regulate a consumer-based industry that is operating here in the county to better regulate, to better to have better information on, which is what the permitting system would allow us to do.
Okay. And again, the reason, I mean, in most situations, the county would have the total flexibility to issue or not issue permits. But because of this one somewhat cryptic language in the state code, the county's not able to control permitting as it relates to towing companies based here in Arlington.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So is our recommendation, Caitlin, just to confirm, you shared with us the language in the state code. Are we? I guess what I'm wondering is what do we want at the core of our recommendation? Is it? I mean, we can't recommend that the state code be changed.
But we can recommend that we can pass a motion that would allow Arlington County to take steps to recommend a permitting process for all towers,
Okay.
Regardless of their storage location.
Okay, if we make that recommendation, does that? But if right now, if we made that recommendation, it would be in conflict with the state code. Okay. Okay, so the specific motion is to have our legislative aid to the county's legislative aid to Richmond recommend a change of the code, which would then allow Arlington County to have control of the permitting system, full control of the permitting system.
I think we can make it the motion just to have the motion for the T-tab would be that our motion is to have a permitting system in place for the towers, of all towers, regardless of where their storage lots are located. And then we can have the county board and the county manager's office can work to
Okay,
rectify that
Okay.
with the state code.
okay. The way it's written here, the way we've discussed it, would be a motion to consider a recommendation to implement a permitting system for tow companies that tow and store within Arlington County. Is that, okay. All right.
Second, was that the motion?
Well, actually, maybe I'll ask, does anybody want to bring that motion?
I'll bring the motion.
Okay.
Motion to consider a recommendation to implement a permitting system for tow companies that tow and store within Arlington County.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. And I guess we'll just stay tuned to this as the county board will take it up next, or what will happen next? What do we expect?
So
the
what
next step to
happens,
be?
right, so now TTAB has made the recommendation for the desirability of a permitting system. That is on the record.
Okay.
That will be utilized for our legislative affairs going forward. And then if there is a law changed, then July 1 is when the new laws go into effect. And then at that point, the county board, depending on what the law says, is how it will be impacted in our code. So if it says shall or may, those are two distinctions, so whether it will be mandated to be in our code or they will have to take it up.
Okay.
That's how this will proceed.
Okay. All right, well, we'll let the experts in legislative affairs take it from here. Is that, all right, well, thank you. Okay, we move on to the next order of business, which is unfinished business from our last meeting, which I believe was in the first half of 2023.
It was.
Okay. So I believe we were kind of grinding through the Arlington County Code, which included, looked like it was about 20 pages of text that really got into the whole towing process, towing storage process, et cetera. Now we got about halfway through that document.
We did.
Do we want to continue that process, or in light of this particular change, what we've approved, does that suggest maybe tabling that, or I'm open to
I'm open
we
to
proceed.
tabling that until we hear back from
Okay,
the state and the county board. And
okay,
then we can go and do a comprehensive review to allow the new changes to be added to the code, as well as fixing some
okay,
outdated and, stuff that's in our code.
okay, that makes sense. I don't think we need to vote on that. I think we can just say we're tabling that. We'll continue reviewing this code, and again, pay attention to what happens in Richmond July, and that'll inform how we proceed with this particular project. All right, any other unfinished business? I don't have anything else in my notes.
I do not either.
Okay, moving on to number 4, new business.
No new business for me.
Okay, good. No, I don't.
Do you want to do the public to see if anybody
Yeah.
from our public wants to interject or.
Yeah, I think
comments?
that's probably, is that a good time to do it under new business?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's open it up to we have 3 folks on remote and 2 out in the live audience. So I guess I'll start. Anybody in the live audience want to share anything? Okay. Anyone on remote? Any of you have any comments or business you want to address? Matt, you got the mic.
Thank you all. I appreciate the endorsement of potentially implementing a permitting process. Like, as you know, in previous recordings of the TTAB, we've had one member from Advanced Towing who's repeatedly stated that he does not feel the need to follow any of the Arlington County Code. So, for example, he's stated on the recordings that he has no intention of sharing the contracts authorizing the tow with any of his victims. So I think this is another tool in the tool chest for Arlington to try and rein in some of these rogue operators and hopefully balance the scales between the consumer and the producer. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Matt. Any of other call in, Tim or Tony? Do either of you want to share any items? All right. Wow, we are just flying through. We are on to number 5. This is, I'm going to say, Jim, is every meeting that you chaired seemed to last like an hour and a half. So maybe it's just a lighter agenda. We can credit it with that. Okay, and final item is a discussion of next steps and timeline. We kind of talked to that a little bit. We're going to obviously have to see what goes on in Richmond over the next 6 months. That's going to inform significantly next steps. We were missing Al today, so it would be good to follow up with Al after this meeting and just see if there's issues that he thinks are important that we be addressing. Other than that, I would suggest we tentatively, I guess, let me just open it up for the board and Caitlin to chime in. Should we wait until post-July to meet again, or do you think there's potentially some business we might want to address?
I think we can probably, they'll vote, the state will vote on the law change prior to July 1. So my recommendation would be the next TTAB should be after that
Okay.
vote. So that regardless of which way the Richmond vote goes, we can have a meeting to discuss
Okay.
updating the county code,
Mhm.
either address a permitting system or not to address the permitting system and try to
Right.
modernize our trespass towing
Okay.
code.
So it's fair to say that if the law gets changed in Richmond, we will need then to convene to talk about what a permitting system should look like. I mean, and that sounds like it would be a significant
Right, and
initiative.
it's drafted in the current code that you guys have, the draft changes. Jim's worked pretty hard on that, so we can, I think we could revisit that and you all could really dive in. We can all work together.
Okay. Okay, that'll be good. Jim, I just want to thank you as the predecessor. You did do a lot of deep diving during your tenure as chair, and I think that has set us up really well to continue our work over the next year.
Thank you.
All right. Any other business anybody'd like to address? All right. Well, this was great. Again,
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Chair.
all right. And again, thanks for your service, Jim. Thanks, Caitlin, for leading us and keeping us focused. And we missed Al today, but he's been a great contributor. So we'll look forward to reconnecting with him. And if there are no other business items, I'm going to motion to close the meeting.
Seconded.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming tonight, and we will be in touch.
Thank you.
Technical difficulties in the beginning.
Yeah.